Here we go. Thank you, Jerry Jones. I had a great time. Thank you. I'm going to exit the building now. Like a loser.
The house that Jerry Jones built?
It's a house for losers.
Yep.
Charles Haley was 100%
was
right. This, friends, is a house for losers.
Pretty much.
We suck. We suck. But I had a great trip. Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here with... Oh, shit. Hold on. Broke ass media. Sorry, gentlemen. Broke ass media in full effect. Of course, we got to take care of the voodoo doll as well. Welcome, good people, on our Thanksgiving week broadcast. Tomorrow, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York stinking Giants. And I'm in full effect right now getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm actually going to be smoking one turkey and doing one traditionally. Where I have actually brined it this morning, dry brined it, and I'm going to be putting it in the smoker. If you want to check out how I'm doing it, I'm actually going to upload on my day job and my cooking channel exactly what I've done as far as brining that, and we'll end up doing videos as we actually cook it tomorrow. So definitely check that out. So here's where we are right now. Danny Cutlets, okay, Tommy Cutlets. I keep wanting to call him Danny DeVito as opposed to Tommy DeVito, but I'm not sure that Tommy DeVito would be any worse, or Danny DeVito would be any worse. Good Lord, I can't get it together this morning. I'm not sure that he would be any worse. Be that as it may, he had an elbow issue that he woke up with yesterday morning, and it might be Micah-itis. It might be Micah-itis, that he's thinking that Micah Parsons is coming to clean his clock. And all of a sudden, oh, my elbow is not doing quite right. Maybe I need to sit this one out. Be that as it may, they're going to check it out this morning and see if he is going to be their starter going forward. Now, of course, we, are not out of the fray ourselves. This is where you realize, this is another proof in the pudding that the Cowboys' philosophy has completely failed. Okay? When I say that, what I'm talking about is the Cowboys, as far as this season goes, we don't really know exactly what the plan was with the Cowboys this offseason. If it was, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and go with what we have right now, and we're just going to try and survive the season. We're going to keep the most important pieces, Dak, Ceedee, and Micah, and then next year we'll load up. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But Stephen Jones, and I've killed him, Catboy, on this whole philosophy of Ceedee Lamb. I get it. You paid the lion's share of the money to Ceedee and Dak. But unfortunately, it doesn't work where you say, we paid you a whole lot of money, you're going to get more production. It doesn't work. Last year, Ceedee Lamb averaged a little over 10 targets and touches per game. And with that, he had over 1,700 yards. He broke the Cowboys record, okay? You only have so many hits in your body that you can take. You may recall Stephen Jones saying, Ceedee Lamb got the contract, so we need to get him about 10 to 15 touches a game. Yeah, that sounds good in theory. If you could extrapolate and say what you did last year, that you're going to be able to take those same numbers, and because we're going to get you 2 to 5 targets more a game, you're going to get that much production. Here's where it's crazy. If we were actually to do that, it would be somewhere near him having about 165 receptions and about 2,500 yards. I don't believe anybody has done 2,500 yards in receiving in the NFL. What Stephen Jones set out there is unattainable. And this is Ceedee Lamb saying exactly where he is right now. keep in mind, we still have 6 more games to go. Ceedee Lamb, man, I'm banged up. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the part of the season I'm not going to get into specifics. I train to be in any kind of position, bro. I love the game in this sport. I love everything this game has to offer. But this is the most banged up I've ever been. And we still have, 6 more games to go. And so when you see him, of course, now in the backfield running the football a lot more, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see, because the difference of being tackled when you're in the secondary by cornerbacks versus getting tackled by 300-pound defensive linemen, it's not the same. It's not the same, bro. And we found out, even with Deebo Samuels being the weapon that he is and the stature that his body has, that he's beginning to get kind of nicked up and getting more and more injuries as his career's going on. You don't pay a guy this much money and make him a wrecking ball. And unfortunately, that's what Stephen Jones has done. And to me, it's a complete failure. You cannot do that to a player and expect them to last. I get it. We paid a lot of money to CD and Dak. The way you maximize that is being able to get him into advantageous positions. So that way, when he catches the ball, he's got one-on-one coverage. He's got one guy to beat, as opposed to going into triple coverage or having him trying to break something big, across the line. If third and short, hey, look, bro, get your quarterback sneak on. Get your running backs up in there. I do not want to see reverses to Ceedee Lamb on short yardage. I just don't. To me, that goes into the bigger problems that the team has, which is being short-sighted. And this people will look at it differently than maybe I'm looking at it right now. When Jerry Jones says, we haven't ruled out Mike McCarthy getting another contract, I know everybody rolls their eyes and say how stupid we are, but that may actually be a good thing, because they're looking and saying, it's not all on him. It's not all on him. And maybe they're looking at some of the things that they have done and their responsibility to it. Because if you could look at it and say, it's just coaching. It's just coaching, that the coaching just sucks. Yeah, okay, so maybe the coaching isn't perfect. But you also have to look at it from the standpoint of the amount of injuries you've had in here and bringing in so many new players. You lost 9 starters, and you didn't replace them with better players. You did not. You can't look and say, we lost Tony Pollard and we got back Zeke, that is an improvement. You might be able to say, well, Eric Kendricks is maybe an improvement from where we were at linebacker last year, with Malik being the linebacker towards the season. You say that might be an upgrade. But when you look at all the other moves that were made, you can't look at those and say those were better players coming in, and you hamstrung most of them by bringing them in late, because now they got to get caught up to speed. And football is not like fantasy football where, I'll just trade this guy and put this guy in and I'm going to get automatic numbers. It doesn't work like that in real life. So that's where you look at this and say the Cowboys have a role in part of the reason why the Cowboys are struggling. So here's where I'm going to be a little bit short this morning, because I've got a lot to do. I got to go shopping and finish getting everything for Thanksgiving, and doing the prep work, so that way, I got to get my stuffing stuff together and all that, and get my sweet potatoes cooked and actually seasoned and things, so I can put them in the fridge, and I just have to warm it up tomorrow. So that way it's not, I'm going crazy all day trying to get shit together for Thanksgiving. I'll have a lot of it prepped. And see, that's the key on doing something. I've got 12, 14 people I got to feed. But what I do today to get ready for that will make life a lot easier tomorrow. Let's listen into
with notable injuries. However,
Here we go.
The Cowboys are coming off an impressive road win in D.C., and yesterday Jerry Jones was asked about the possibility of bringing back his embattled head coach, Mike McCarthy.
I don't think that's crazy at all. That's not crazy. Listen, Mike McCarthy is one outstanding coach, and Mike McCarthy has been there, done that. He's got great ideas. So bottom line is that no place in my body language or anything else have you seen indications about what we're going to be doing relative to this staff at the end of this year. And we shouldn't. We got a lot of football left.
It'll be interesting to see if Mac McCarthy comes back.
Oh, Mac McCarthy.
Cowboys head coach. Thanks for noticing that walk and talk, by the way.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no problem.
That was Dominique.
I love
different guy.
I love the variety.
Different guy.
Who really puts
facing
the time in from a broadcast perspective, and I always give credit where it's
Thank
due.
you. They practice walk and talks in college. Hey, Nick, you heard it there. I mean, people say, wait, keep Mike McCarthy? Why do you believe in this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, Jerry said that nothing in his body language suggests that he wouldn't want to keep Mike McCarthy. Don't nobody care about what your body's saying. Say it with a contract. Say it with a comma and some dollar signs and some zeros.
That's what my wife said before we got married.
He sent Mike McCarthy out there in a lame duck situation. So I do think that Mike McCarthy's handled everything up until now pretty well. This is a very unique situation, and he's coached as well as you can given the circumstances, given the fact that Jerry Jones spent this offseason not getting a running back, not addressing issues across the defensive line, playing around with the contracts of Dak Prescott and Ceedee Lamb. Like, he's just doing all this ridiculous stuff that makes the job tougher for Mike McCarthy. Mike has had success there, so I think it's reasonable to bring him back, especially if this team keeps fighting the way that it is, even though they're kind of out of it.
Hawk, you agree, disagree?
You know, I agree, and I think two things can be true. Number one, that the way the Mike McCarthy has performed and his teams have performed in the postseason in previous years, when we knew that they had what they needed from a roster perspective, could be a disappointment and be worthy of saying, okay, maybe we should make a change. But also this year, to your point, Nick, we came into the offseason knowing exactly what the holes for this team were. And that's been the entire conversation, is that they have not been able to overcome that obstacle. So to point to Mike McCarthy and say it's his fault, it's tough.
Yeah.
The team has not played motivated. The team does not look prepared. And there have been in-game decisions and adjustments that do fall on the head coach. But all those things become considerably harder when you know you are playing with half a deck.
And that's the thing, because if Jerry Jones had fired Mike McCarthy in the offseason, after they lost to the Packers, you would say, you know what, he's a good coach, but I get it. They consistently fall short. But after this season, I think he's been handcuffed, honestly, by his owner. Now, I almost feel bad for Mike McCarthy. Like, he didn't have a fighting chance this season. Looking at the remainder of their schedule, I don't feel particularly confident that they're going to be able to finish strong enough that says, look, Giants, Bengals, even if they beat the Giants, they beat the Bengals, like, it's the last 3 games for me. And they could finish, honestly, 0-3 to end the year. And I feel like for Mike McCarthy, that's unfortunate because his owner really didn't give him a firm leg.
Yeah, and Saturday, you know this better than anyone. All of you up here know this. When in a situation where the GM makes some bad decision, guess what the owner does?
Right.
Fires the GM.
Yeah, right.
Well, guess who's the GM?
That's right.
He's not firing this GM because it's Jerry. And when you talk about a coaching situation, you would better know what you're getting into with another coach. So what does this boil down to for you?
Yeah, who we hiring, right? We love to fire people. We don't know who we're hiring yet. So are we hiring Deion Sanders? Are we hiring Bill Belichick? Like where are we going? Which direction are we trying to head? The thing for Mike McCarthy, and everybody up here said it very well. Good football coach, all of those things. Hasn't gotten it done at the 12-4 seasons that they've had. Hired a defensive coordinator, and the defense has been bad this year, right? So to me, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm saying, okay, how does my defense finish this season? Is the guy that he brought in and hired as a defense coordinator really showing? Because Dan Quinn has proved himself, right? He goes to Commanders, and he's lighting it up. So we know there's going to be a slight step back and just trying to get back on the same page. But they got to finish strong, because that's where I could fault Mike McCarthy. It's who are you hiring? He's now the coordinator. Their offense wasn't playing good with him calling the plays with Dak Prescott. So now we can give him a little bit of excuse because of the Cooper Rush situation. But I want to see which direction we're headed. I don't mind the Mike McCarthy staying or going either way to me. I just want to know who we're hiring before we decide to fire.
The answer to the question in Dallas is going to be different than anywhere else because that situation is so unique. So, I don't know that I would encourage people to extend Mike McCarthy if it was at another place, but finding someone that fits in and has success, some level of success with Jerry in this state seems really difficult. And going out and all the names that come up are people who have leverage and power and are likely not to take this. Like, I think Mike Vrabel's probably one of the best guys out there on the market. If I was Mike Vrabel, I would look at them and laugh. Like, I'm not going to come work for Jerry Jones. Same thing for Bill Belichick. And maybe Deion Sanders is one who would consider it because of the jump. But, like, any of these hot young coaches who have a chance, and hot old coaches, if you're counting Bill Belichick, who have a chance of getting a job, are looking at this situation thinking, hell no, I'm going to get a lot of attention and not a lot of control. Right. And my fate is going to be decided by someone else's decision.
And Deion likes being the show.
Yeah,
Jerry likes being the show. So you wonder how that relationship would work. Like Thanksgiving, we're going to go around the table real quick, but I need a yes or no answer. Keep Mike McCarthy. Yes or no?
No.
Not an answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You didn't answer. Hold on. You're not getting off the hook.
Kmart be
You know what?
shocked.
I'd be shocked if you guys
I'm
stopped
gonna let
running
this
this
run a little bit
photo
more.
of
No.
Because
goodness.
49ers missed the playoffs.
Would Kmart be
This would
shocked
make
if the
me so
49ers
happy.
missed the playoffs?
Oh, this pains me because preseason I picked them to make the Super Bowl. But no, I would not be shocked. The injuries that they've had, how this team has looked, the injuries have been a killer. And also, consider their schedule that they got to end the season with. So no, I just think it might be too tough of a hurdle for them. But this is a good team, man.
Right. Would you be shocked if Bo Nix wins Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Okay, Matthew. No, I would not be shocked, but I'd be surprised. Because this means
What does that mean? What does
this
that
means
mean?
that Jaden Daniels, would have to fall off considerably. But give credit to Bo Nix and Sean Payton. This Broncos team, guys, enough.
Semantics?
Get control of this substitute teacher. Get control of this boy. No, credit to Bo Nix because he has played very well.
Yeah.
But no, that means Jaden would have to fall off, and I don't see that happening.
Oh, and everyone's favorite quarterback from a rookie to a veteran. Would you be shocked if Aaron Rodgers
Yes,
is
I
back
would.
as the Jets quarterback next season?
Yes, I would be shocked because if you're a Jets fan, why would you want to see this all over again? He's going to be 42 next year. I don't think quarterbacks get better at 42 years old, unless you're Tom Brady. So no, I would be shocked. I just think the Jets kind of have to just blow it all up and start again.
So just punt, regroup, rehire.
Punt this season.
right,
Just end this season.
Well, if he does show back up, we're going to show that picture of you.
Yes.
And we've seen Hall of Fame Packers quarterbacks play.
All right, we'll end it right there for you guys. We are going to be really, really busy. One thing I do have to try and do, too, because the weather is going to get really, really cold. Next week, I think the highs are going to be like 40 and lows in the 20s and the teens. So the ground's going to get frozen. So Dirty Sanchez, Lola, One Love, Tony Boo, and Rhonda, who's been right behind me. We got to get y'all's bricks in places today. Okay, so that's another thing I have to add to the list as well. So you're going to see all kinds of content from me today as we get ready for Thanksgiving. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon.